We're jumping now to BedZED. Beddington Zero Energy Development. As far as I know, this is the first such zero energy, quote unquote, carbon neutral housing development in the world, at least in the modern world. It's 100 units and it's carbon neutral. It accounts for every single carbon molecule. I've been there. It's a very neat place. The initial innovation is to reduce demand. You have to cut the demand by 2/3 at least. In this case, they've cut demand almost by 3/4. He's got 2-foot thick walls. The heat for the extra heat that's needed from an artificial source is a single 145 kilowatt combined heat and power plant that uses sustainably harvested wood chips. So one single 145 kilowatt plant provides the necessary supplemental heat for this 100-unit facility. And that's because it's designed so well. So it's a design challenge. You'll notice at the top there are these little funny-shaped vents. They're called cowls. And because it's super insulated, you need an air circulation system. That's one of the drawbacks of super insulation. But it's accounted for appropriately here with these things. And when you go there, one of the things that's very cool is that when the wind changes direction, these things all change direction with it. And 100 of them, every unit has one of these things, spin at the same, rotate at the same time. It's sort of a cool effect, and it's part of what people in the future may be more familiar with. This is the facilities center for BedZED. On the left is the power plant I just told you about. To the right of the power plant, that little greenhouse is where they do the natural water treatment. The wastewater is treated right there on site, naturally, without any artificial chemicals. And the excess heat from the power plant, of course, also fuels the greenhouse wastewater treatment. And underneath the greenhouse is the community center. Here's a picture inside of it's called the living machine. By the way, this type of technology, this type of wastewater treatment technology, was invented by a visionary biologist named John Todd. And the biggest such demonstration of this wastewater treatment was done in South Burlington, Vermont, in the early 1990s at a facility that processed 80,000 gallons a day of raw municipal sewage. And the technical manager for that project was Jim Laurie, who was a graduate of the UHCL Futures program. He was a colleague of mine, and he was a student of Dr. Bishop's. They have a little parking lot there where you can plug in your electronic car. There are about 6 of them. We'll be seeing more of this. Okay, so now let's go from one to many. So the BedZED is a 100-unit development, and now it's time to really scale up. And this is what's beginning to happen in Changsha, China. Changsha is the capital of Hunan province. As it says here, this is based on the BedZED model. There'll be about 132 to 3-bedroom homes. Okay, there's some statistics there you can look at. Some of the key things here to see on this slide is the orientation. We can look forward here. The objective here is to have high density without having the heat island effect. And I want to go back. And there are also sort of parks, and there's a bike path. I don't know if you can see it there, but we'll try this. Well, okay. There's a bike path on the roof of the public facility building. Here's a cross section. So these people here are on the roof of the commercial center, and then there's a cross section of the residential center. So here's what the possible future of skyscrapers, of high-rises, can look like. This is another proposal from the same firm. This is being considered for development in London. This isn't just a drawing. This is a real plan. They can give you the details about every single feature of it. The key thing to know is that this building generates its own power. This building does not have to be on the grid. Okay, I just have to, I guess, keep going, but because of time. But what I sort of want to show you here in the detail is that these are vertical wind turbines, and their assumption is their power demand assumption is 750 to 1,000 kilowatt hours per person per year, and so based on that. That's the energy model they use for this. So this will provide that energy.